Hi there, I'm Brad Ruden, Agronomy Tech Services Manager with Agtegra Cooperative, taking a look at seed treatment on soybeans. Soybeans are a very valuable commodity crop for us, but one of the things that absolutely positively will make a difference in your plant stands and in your success with soybeans is if you put a solid seed treatment on your seed. This plot behind us is designed to be able to test that. We've done this for many, many years out here. Agtegra partners with Syngenta Seed Treatments to be able to provide Cruiser, Max, Apex as our premier seed treatment. We also have a basic seed treatment if you're looking at doing treatment on your farm that we can offer you as well. My research over 10 years of doing this has shown that my return on investment for seed treatment is somewhere around $40 or greater per acre per year. And we can see it out in the plots this year. We were very moist at the Aberdeen plots this year. We had over 25 inches of rainfall, and it brought on a disease called white mold. And we can see some difference, even though we didn't necessarily provide a seed treatment this year in the plots or test one this year that is specifically focused to white mold. We did see some differences in the treatment out there. And I'll just show you some plants here to be able to begin with. These are the untreated plants out in the plot. And you can see a pretty good pod set on these. We still have some very nice yields over here. But if you compare these plants to the ones in this hand here, these are my plants from my seed treatment plot. And this is with Cruiser Max Apex. And you can see a lot bigger pod set, larger stems, more uniform stems. And here's the key. This section of this plant right here, this bleached section in here, this is a white mold hit. White mold came in at wherever this pod was. Now there's a 4-bean pod right there, still a very nice pod, but a dead flower on this particular node or this one down here is where white mold invaded this stem. Where I've got the seed treatments, I seem to be seeing less white mold. That's a plant health issue, and it happens very early on in the season as we get those plants out of the ground and we get very good robust growth. We still have very good nodulation on these. We do have an inoculant from Agtegra Cooperative as well, one that will be called Vigorate, and this particular one has an inoculant. You can see very good nodules on the roots, but this untreated plant came out of the ground a little bit slower. We didn't set pods till we're further up the stem, and we ended up with some bigger disease development on it. If we take a look at our treated plants, on the other hand, we have pod set much lower on the plant, higher number of pods lower on the plant, and we still have a nice green stem out here in the early part of September. I don't think this is going to delay harvest, but we are getting a better pod set out in these plots out here with the treatment. Once again, we went out to this plot and we take a look at the plant development that we have, and we can make some comparisons down the plot by pulling out 2 feet of plant row and taking all the pods off of the plants, putting them in the buckets here. These plants were taken at our tour a couple weeks ago, so they're starting to fade a little bit, but you can still get the concept. On our untreated here, I have 523 grams of pods. If we go just to Cruiser Max Apex, I went up to 705 grams of pods at this particular time of the year. So I'm getting earlier pod fill, better pod fill, and I guarantee you're going to see the difference between these two when it comes around time for yield at the end of the year. Now, if we have some additional disease threats out there where we know we're going to have a very cold, very wet spring, we can add some additional treatments. One of the treatments we will offer is a product called Saltro that we can add on top of Cruiser Max Apex. It adds a significant amount more cost, but if we look at the plant mass that we got out of that one, we went up over 1,000 grams of pods from our 2 feet of row, and we can really see some development this year. We got very wet. We were very dry at planting, and then we got very wet shortly thereafter. And when the soil temps got cold, this additional fungicide out in the plot actually really provided us some excellent yield potential here at the end of the year. So soybean seed treatments, a foundation to get your plants out of the ground. We're planting 140,000 seeds. We may lose 20,000 out here to diseases. I think we lost maybe even more than that in our untreated this year. We can maintain that plant population coming out of the ground and get it out of the ground in a more uniform manner by putting a seed treatment on, and almost guaranteed, I have never had the seed treatment plot out here fail to give me at least a neutral to slightly positive ROI. And I think it'll work again in the future here.